Well, my question is about the energy. Sometimes I feel if I go to a dinner or something and there's a lot of people, the next day I'm like feeling like poor energy, like no energy. That that's the first question, and the second is related how to improve that prana or that energy.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
great. Thanks, Gustavo. Yeah, I think you've touched upon a point that a lot of us feel. Some of us may have felt it our whole lives, being energetically sensitive, having high degrees of empathy. We spend time around other people and we can begin to take on their energy through an energetic way, like their literal aura, kind of pick up chunks of it and take it with us, or their pain, we take it with us, or we begin to process other people's emotions through our system. This can be very draining. Um, as well, we can also tend to get into codependent patterns, people pleasing, pretending that everything is okay when it's not because we don't want to offend others or hurt their feelings, or we don't want to make it about us. These are a lot of patterns that many on the path, myself included, tend to have, and they can really drain a person of their energy because, of course, it takes so much bandwidth to, like I said, process another's pain, even feeling their pain, not knowing what to do with it, pretending that we're not going through our own stuff. Very, very draining. This path tends to amplify and magnify and show us all of these different areas where we are hiding, not being in alignment, where we can do a little bit of tidying up. So it all tends to come to the forefront. So when we go to, say, a restaurant or at work or in some sort of community gathering, whatever it is, we can take like, oh, wow, this is really a lot. And I need to figure out how to, not take this on so much. So, of course, first is understanding what's going on here. We're not a victim. It's not that other people are consciously dumping their things on us. Not definitely not that. Boundaries, of course. Also understanding I'm sensitive. Therefore, prior to going into a certain environment, should make an intention. I'm not going to take on other people's work. I'm going to take care of myself through self-care. Set those intentions before, after. Some may like to do rituals like maybe clearing their aura with sage or saying a mantra or crystals. That stuff can help. I like to think that we have the Kundalini, and so we can ask the Kundalini to guide us and support us through these processes and teach us and say, okay, I see there's something for me to learn here, some old patterns and habits for me to drop. Show me the way, teach me, and maybe you'll get inner guidance. Maybe you'll be inspired to do a certain thing or something like that. Maybe a certain book will show up that'll help you to deal with some of these dynamics. These are just some of the major themes that like people experience, when we're going through this path. As well, our aura, our energy, our heart begins to open, and an open heart, it's open for things to move through it. And sometimes the things that move through it are other people's pain. And so this is where the line between offering service and being victimized by other people's junk gets kind of blurred. And so it's important that we discern. If we recognize that we can use this sensitivity as an act of service, well, then we do it in a sort of controlled way when we are able to. So for example, this is an exaggerated example, but for some of us, I know some of us are here, are healers. We say, when I go out in public, I take on a lot of things from other people. I can use this as a gift, as a healing gift. So then maybe they'll create a profession out of it. And in that profession, there's boundaries. There's some sort of exchange, money, whatever it is. There's a certain time period where they take on things from other people. Outside of that, they don't do it. Outside of that, they're taking care of themselves. So that's a little bit about that. I hope that I've spoken to your particular issue there. I'm trying to speak in general for everybody, touch on everybody's little experience. And so the next part of your question was about how can you build up the prana? So prana can also get depleted through emotional drainage. If we're dealing with some sort of abusive situation, we can take on a lot of emotions. This emotion can really drain us of prana, make us feel very depressed. Not fueling the system with proper self-care, proper rest at night, proper hydration, proper nutrition, some movement, exercise, all of these can get the prana flowing. There are also ways that we can drain excess prana through drugs, alcohol. Intense exercise can also deplete the prana in the system, cause us to feel very drained. Excess sexual activity can also cause the prana to be drained. So basically the idea is everything should be done with consciousness, and we tune into our body and see, do I have the energy for these things? Do I have the energy to keep up my New Year's resolution to go for an hour run every day? Do I have the energy for that? And if not, it's okay. You have to understand this process takes a lot of energy to transform the nervous system, to transform the system, to purge, to release emotional stuff. And so that's why sometimes it feels like we got hit by a bus. That's why sometimes I've noticed for myself and in many others, if we ignore those natural cues to rest so that the body can build up the prana and the energy once again, that life force, if we ignore those obvious cues to rest, which are fatigue, if we ignore it, what happens is we get sick. I've heard people break their leg and they're forced to sit in bed to rest. So the Kundalini is super intelligent. So like things like that happen, or COVID was also a huge context for people to go and rest, to stay home and rest. And that's why a lot of people made a lot of leaps and bounds on their awakening journey. So these are some ideas. Ultimately, if you look at the things that we all know what to do for our health, if you do those things, the prana can, be maintained at enough of a level so that this process can carry itself out without causing us to go into intense fatigue. So I hope that helps, Gustavo.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Great question. Thank you.